Hello everybody and welcome back to some Ion Formula 1 action. We're here in Hungary for the first time ever in Tivoli. It's a very good looking track, very exciting track. Here you can see the pit lane. We've got a custom little facade set up. It looks very swanky indeed. Currently following around Dino Only Jacob, one of Uprise's new drivers. I did say that right. I thought I said that wrong. Anyways, moving on. Joining you in the commentary box for today's very exciting qualifying session is Meaty Pod Dolphin, and alongside me you've got the wonderful Brandstar team owner Shea and project user.
Hello. Right, I'd say hello.
Yeah, hello.
Anything exciting you're expecting? This track's very exciting indeed. It's got lots of different elevation. But is there anything driver-wise that you're looking or expecting?
Well,
Lots of crashes.
Well, we might not see that many crashes. Hungary doesn't really have that many sharp corners, not something like France where you have walls right next to the track and sharp corners, or anything like Japan from last season, or what else we have last season that was pretty heavy on crashes? Maybe Britain? Because I believe we're going to be having a dry race today.
Yeah, there's no rain scheduled. And Britain last season was a bit wet, and this season was a bit wet, and we had a few DNFs from both of those races.
Well, if you think about it, we're going to hit on a brand new track, and this track is very nice. Lots of good, solid curves, and a few sharp ends on about 3 different sections. However, the track will be dry, but if you want to ask me where I think most of the problems might lie, it might be in the pit lanes themselves. This is the first track that has a pit lane that goes around the track twice, goes over the track twice. You gotta go under the track in order to get in. Yeah, under and over. You gotta go under it to get in the pit lane, and then over to get out, as you can see by that little bridge over after the starting line.
The
and
pit
now,
entry here is arguably one of the tightest on the calendar.
If you're on board with Dino here, you'll be able to see the exit and how twisty it is.
Yeah, the
So
pit
come
entry
out,
and
you
exit
go
are
to the right
very
and then to the
windy.
left.
I remember when we were doing some practice shots with with this track, and I was working with the F1 cars. I swear, I crashed through that pit exit once. And if I can do it, anybody can do it.
So a strong
Okay.
word to be careful to people.
This might be one of those times where we see a pit lane, closed down.
I mean, we saw it in France season 3 for
Yeah, because Dakar went a
Dakar
bit,
existing.
yeah.
Britain season 3 because Castrionics crashed in the pit lane exit and then continued to park his car there for a solid 12 minutes while his engineer repeated, "Kath, are you okay?" To him for no apparent reason, but that's what he dealt with. Those are the only 2 examples I can think of in Iron history. I'm sure there's many more can't think of, but that seems to be about it.
So interestingly enough, in this qualifying session, first place right now, since Dakar is just started, but we have Matt of Brandstar in that podium position at the moment for qualifying, with 8 minutes left. Interestingly enough, that's actually surprising, because Matt was about P10 in the practice area, and Dakar's always been the one to probably be faster than Matt, but since Dakar's not here, I'm surprised because Critical Noob, Mr. Macho Globe, none of them have been able to seem to catch up to Matt's time yet.
Strangely, that doesn't match up considering the fastest times in FP for qualifying sims are about 107, so maybe we could see these significantly quicker times coming in later on in the session. Some drivers are just holding back so they don't end up... I think most drivers will be wanting to get a lap in early where not as many people are pushing as hard, and that means that crashes are less likely to happen and you won't have to avoid them or abandon your lap due to one.
That is true because we've noticed KRR drivers not doing very well in qualifying, holding back, and then pushing all their energy in the race itself. And we might be seeing other teams be doing that as well, or we might just have them doing some bad luck streaks. There might be a chance for a driver to do a better time than Matt. I mean, Danza Hadjak's just done a purple, Critical Noob's just done a purple in the second sector. If anybody's going to get ahead of him, it's going to be one of those two drivers. I believe Danza Hadjak's going to cross the line now, and there it is. There's P1 for him. And then here comes Critical Noob going across the final corners. We'll see if he's able to get a good time.
So let's follow Dakar here
corner.
on his first proper flying lap. Now coming through up the first DRS straight. It's uphill this, so even though you gain the time with your rear wing open, you'll lose it compared to other DRS straights on the calendar. You then have a very tight right-hander, followed by a very tight left-hander, followed by another very tight right-hander. These are turns 5, 6 and 7 inspired. They look pretty similar to the final 3 corners at the real-life Turkey circuit. Then you have these fast-flowing corners, turns 8 and 9, looping around. Dakar goes slightly wide here. This is not going to give him any time at all. You're then into the double left-hander of 10 and 11, now through 12 and 13, and this is turn 14, very tight to the left. 15 loops you round to the right, and then 16 is taken it flat out. This is 16, and then you have this short little straight here down to the long right-hander. It's long because it's very slow, of turn 17, and then that feels like it takes an age. The left-hander not so much, through 19 here, down the main straight, and Dakar is going to cross the line and set a 109.292, and he jumps straight out of his car.
And he's right into 10th place as well. Oh, 11th place.
Now 11th as Mr. Lucky Shot makes it up into P9.
That was a Mazda driver. Hang on a second. Hold on a second. That's a Mazda driver that just got P9 in qualifying. That's a feat.
I mean, the lap from Dakar, the mistake of going across the bumps, going wide through that really fast sweeping section is really easy to get your line wrong there, and well, it's understandable that Dakar's gone across the bumps, and the fact that it cost him as little time as it did is indicative of Dakar's pace around the rest of the lap, even if he didn't get the purple sectors there.
Dakar seems to be going back on track again. I'm a little curious why he jumped out of the car. Maybe he found some issues with the car and needed to restart it in order to get a better lap time, but it seems as though he might be able to do 1 or 2 fast laps before qualifying ends.
It's
Since
probably...
Yeah, we might have 2 in it. I mean, 4 minutes, every lap is a 1:08. He might be able to get 2 in.
Well, I would say that very setting is simply just a convenience thing. It's best not to do an entire in-lap just to get some new tires, so...
That is true. Although, I mean, he only really did 1 lap. Did he really need new tires?
You say that, but it's really surprising how much your tires wear out over a single lap, especially in qualifying. And the pace difference can be up to about 5 tenths per lap. It's insane while you're driving the car.
That is
But
true.
you don't really recognize it from an outside perspective.
I'm a little curious. We seem to only have 1 DRS shown on this track, and that's like the one right after the first few corners. There isn't one on the starting section. As far as I know, I don't see the DRS wings going off. So yeah, it seems as though there's only going to be 1 DRS zone on this whole track. Unless...
No, there
Give me
is
a
only
second,
one
what?
DRS zone around here. I think it's the only track on the calendar that has a single DRS zone. Of course, they haven't seen the USA or Qatar layout yet, but it is the only track that we know of that has a single DRS zone. But to be completely honest, there isn't really anywhere else you could put another one. Like maybe down the start-finish straight, but that's downhill, and then the little gap between turns 16 and 17. That's probably not long enough for it to like be effective.
Not only that, but it also goes straight into the pit entry.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
if
that's
you
a good
have
point.
if you have a DRS zone on the main straight, you also have to factor in the huge curve just past the main straight, heading into what we would consider really to be the first turn. We all know that on the track maps, the first turn is the long sweeping right-hander, but in these cars, it's really not a turn. Sometimes it might be affected by what tyres you're on, but it shouldn't matter. too much. So when you're going into that first turn, having DRS open would most certainly unsettle the car for that turn, and it just wouldn't be a good idea to drive.
And to nobody's surprise, Takir now takes the first position of qualifying. He will get pole by
Oh
a
my
whole
God.
second off a critical.
9/10ths exactly. A whole second's being a bit generous, but still, that's a massive lead. 2 purple sectors and a green.
I'll take the 9/10ths difference.
And Kaikara is sliding out of control here on their final lap if they can't get around in time, which it doesn't look like they will unless they run really quickly. They've got 1 minute and 27 seconds. Oh, but he's just going on mediums. He's just going on mediums. He doesn't care.
He might be able to. He might be able to, although I don't think... Oh, he almost hit the pit. He almost hit the wall.
He's got 1 minute and
It
15
seems-
seconds to get to the start-finish line.
Oh, someone took off. I
He'll
think
probably be able to do it, although it might be kind of close. But even then, it will have to be affected to the point where he only has medium tires. So what kind of lap will he be able to do? 108.9 is already pretty good. Being able to do better than that on mediums is going to be a challenge in itself. Oh, and he slides a little bit again.
we are going to talk about how Lance Stroll just launched his car off the inside sausage curb at turn 2 there, hitting the barrier at a pretty high speed. I'm fairly certain it was captured on stream while we were watching Kaikira.
When Dakar is coming into the pits, it's a good opportunity to show you the
Okay,
pit entrance here.
Kaikira is sliding yet again. I don't think he's going to be able to make it. Oh, wow. That is a tight corner. That is a tight corner going into that pit entry.
Oh, and he's hit.
He's out.
Yeah.
Kaikira crashes out right before that straight.
I'm
I
fairly
feel like
certain that was
Indominus Rex
simply-
has driven the wrong way out of the pit lane to get to the final corner to try and start a lap, but I'm not sure whether that will register on the timing systems correctly. We'll just have to wait and see.
Did he go backwards in the pits?
No, it
in order to
hasn't. No,
do
it
a
hasn't.
flying
He
lap?
hasn't got 3 grey sectors. This lap doesn't count. Indominus Rex, because he went the wrong way out the pit lane, this lap will not
No.
count.
The
Hang on a
lap
second.
will
Did-
count.
Wait,
but-
did Indominus go on the wrong side of the pit lane in order to do a flying lap?
Yeah,
ahead of time?
He came out the
If-
wrong end, did a 180-degree right-hand turn, but because of the timing,
That's illegal.
how the timing blocks are set up. Oh, it is working. It is working.
Okay,
It is
deep part.
working, but that is illegal.
Yeah, that is illegal. I was about to say, isn't that
Clarified that.
illegal?
Yeah, that was clarified in Season 3 that the drivers aren't allowed to go backwards in the qualifying or race sessions.
Alright.
So, it's yet
So
another...
this lap will either need to be stopped or if it is an improvement, which I'm not sure, it's currently a 108.814. If that lap time is improved, then it will have to be deleted at some point. I believe it has been... Yes, oh, and there's a few pile-ups here. But I believe that
the
is
lap
everyone
hasn't
across the
even been
line.
finished.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It
Well,
seems as though it has to
you know.
actually respawn Indominus after being reported.
I mean, that is
Yeah, that's
understandable. If you look at his second sector, you can see that he's improving. So if he improved on that lap in general, that would have been a disqualification anyway. So
That is true. So we were luckily we respawned him before he got to that point. We would not want to sabotage his whole race.
I think we should have let him cross the line and we should have disqualified him then. Otherwise,
Alright, let's be lenient.
I wouldn't want to be lenient about a rule that's been in place for 2 seasons and everyone knows about. Effectively
You're
at
right.
this point.
But he wasn't able to secure that time, so it's not going to be any worse for him. It's not going to be any better for him. There's no way he's going to be able to do that in the actual race.
There's always a chance of someone doing something in the race.
Well, I mean, how are you going to go back in the pit lane in order to get any benefit in a race?
You'd be surprised.
Apparently so. Who's still on the track? Looks like a KRR driver, maybe? It's Kaikara. Oh, and
Why is
looks
Kaikara
like he
still
just
going around on track?
He was mad. He wanted to finish his lap.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
No, I'm just assuming that's the case.
Okay, so he's coming to the pits. I think he was just he wanted the he wanted the checkered flag next to his name. So
Oh, okay.
I mean, he already has a checkered flag over his name. I'm not sure. Okay.
He was finishing his lap that clearly.
All right, and that's everybody off the track, which means we will be starting the race soon.
So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back in a few moments when the first ever Hungarian Grand Prix gets underway. As the locals would say it, hello Mindenki, and welcome to not only one of the most exciting tracks on the calendar, but also to one of the newest. We're in Tivoli, Hungary, for the 6th race of the 4th season of the Ion Formula 1 World Championship. I say one of the most exciting tracks, and that's partly in debt to the elevation change around here. 65.5 studs in total to be exact. It rivals Italy and beats Greece by nearly a whole 20 studs. I also said one of the newest, and one of the newest it is indeed, along with Auckland, New Zealand. This circuit is one of the 2 which were added in the recent update to the Ion Formula Racing game. "19 corners make up this circuit, and although it looks quite large in lap time, it isn't. It only takes about 1 minute and 8 seconds to get around here whilst on low fuel, and only a little bit longer when you have a fuel tank. The only flat part of the circuit is the run from turn 16 to 17, which sets you up for the double hairpin chicane, which is ahead of the downhill main straight. There is also only a sole DRS zone around here, which is on the uphill straight from turns 4 to 5, where each car can open up the rear wing when within a second of the driver ahead. Here's the starting grid then. On pole again, it's Dakar for Brandstar, and Critical Noob lines up on the front row yet again, just like they did in Britain. 3rd place is going to Danza Hajek and for Audi, and 4th is going to Matt. They were on P1 for a significant time in qualifying. 5th is Mr. Mucho Globe, their highest start in F1 for McLaren, and Indominus Rex lines up 6th for BMW. Patrick Kura and Kai Kara, the 2 KR boys, they line up on row 4. 9th place goes to one of the Audi reserve drivers, with 10th going to Mr. Lackashot YT for Mazda. P11 is going to... I don't know what happened there. Seems like everyone's on P11. P13 goes to Aviate on Chad with McLaren. P14 goes to Lance Droid in the Lamborghini. 15th place goes to Professor Bloxer. And 16th goes to Space Ghost in the Red Star. 17th place is going to Real Mickey Cool at 97 for Uprise with their teammate Dino alongside them in 18th position. 19th position is going to Rowie, and the Mazda reserve driver will be in P20. 21st goes to Jogsy. 22nd goes to Fernan, and that's the wrong way round. Fernand's in 21st and Jogsy is in 22nd, and then nobody qualified in the remaining 2 available positions. Here's the starting grid. All of the drivers are now lined up. Joining you in the commentary box for today's race is me, Depod Dolphin. Alongside me, we have the Brandstar team owner, Shea, and project user.
Hello. Power unit, say hello.
I would say hello, but I'm thinking about something that's more important to say than
He's
hello.
thinking about this amazing race and this amazing track that we have right now. Am I right, Teapot?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, anybody got some interesting drivers on their minds right now?
I'm excited to see what happens with Dakar and Critical Noob. Dakar got his fastest lap in at the last moment in qualifying. Critical Noob's been fast all weekend. Oh, we're getting straight into the race, even though there hasn't been a jump out, jump in. Okay.
Interesting.
Looks like Dakar's going to do that ahead of time. Yeah,
Dakar's
it looks like
doing
both
it
racers are
anyways.
going to do it ahead of time.
I've noticed that Prix doesn't have either of his drivers on the grid for this race in particular.
You're right.
So
I didn't even notice that. That might
yeah,
be why
there's no
there's
Craigs.
nobody in 23rd and 24th. There's no Craig. Are they putting all their hopes on the Dakar stint on the last track?
I
would think not, but
I'm fairly certain it's just that neither of their drivers have attended, even though they were expecting them to, and
well, that is interesting because Low Fun Greg is there right now. You can see him in the center of the screen at the moment. However, it seems he's not going to try and drive for his team.
Is he series
I mean-
locked to any series? I'm not sure.
yeah, he would be series locked to. I'm not sure, but he would.
I mean, the only
definitely
one
be
that
series locked.
the only one that I know he's driving in right now is Hydro, and that is not series locked.
But that doesn't take into account series that he's drove in before, so
Has he driven in any this season?
I wouldn't know. But let's watch the lights.
So here they come on then. 5 lights are now on. And after a very long wait, we are off and away in Hungary. Dakar leads off of the line. Critical Noob is coming across, and Matt's got up into second place. Going into turn 1, the long right-hander. Car number 1 is still in position on number 1, but not for long. There's a big bunch up now going into the first DRS zone. Kaikara's made their way up into second place. Dancer Hajek has made their way up into third, and it looks as if Kaikara's leading down into turn 5. Is he? Yes, he is. It's hard to see because of the vision lag, as always. Looks like a Mazda and a KR racing car going slightly wide there. Probably Mr. Lackershot YT and Patrick Guro. But as we now go into the middle sector, Kaikara is leading. Daz Hajek is second, and Dakar is in third position. Indominus Rex lines up fourth. Matt's fifth. Critical is sixth. Static seventh. Mr. Lackershot's eighth. Professor Bloxer is ninth, and Real Mickey Coolit is rounding off the top 10.
From my perspective, Dakar had a really impressive start. He was one of the quickest off the line, but it seems as if he didn't get the finest of runs through turn 1 and turn 2.
That's really given a good lead to Kaikara here now. 6/10 to Dante Hajek behind. We'll update shortly as we now come along the start-finish straight for the first time today. Onto lap 2. Kaikara gets the fastest lap and is now just 2.66 tenths ahead of the car behind.
Loads of people going wide through turn 1. I couldn't even tell you who's going wide because there was that many cars.
There's still a bunch of them really bunched together in these sharp cornered sections. And as they're going through the S-turn, their speeds are going to be going exceptionally harder than usual. And if they have a slip up on those sections, it's going to be catastrophic.
I'm amazed that some of them managed to keep it on the track when they're when they have this many drivers in front of them.
Have we seen any drivers falling out of the crowd recently? Or are they all just still bunched together?
Rowy's down in P24 at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like we had a bit of a
A bit of a glitch
lag,
there.
yeah.
There are 17 drivers in P16. That'll sort itself out in the next sector. Yeah, but Rowy's 14 seconds down now. That's a massive gap for their return to Ion.
Just a teensy bit of lag. But no, you are right. That's interesting seeing a BMW in second place right now.
Someone's coming into the pits. It's an uprise. I'm trying to tell who it is. It's Miggy, who's lost his front wing.
Miggy?
Miggy's already lost his front wing.
Man, that's just going to be catastrophic to their whole strategy. Where did he lose it, I wonder?
I am going to take a look. I'm assuming it'd be for the sharp S section.
I would assume it'd be really recent because it didn't seem he was that far behind.
Oh, it is in... I don't know. Hold it. Where is it?
You might check the sharp corners after that first straight going into the pit exit. Or entry, sorry.
This is interesting. I can't see a front wing anywhere.
Well, we'll be able to find out soon as we see Kaikera going through that section, so if I spot one, I'll let you know.
And Dominus Rex is doing really well in second place, holding off Dakar, who's won the previous 2 races. And an interesting fact I was thinking about earlier, Dakar's first 2 races of Season 3, he won them, but the third, he did not win. This is his third race of Season 4. So, do you think history will repeat itself?
I'm not sure. It's up to fate.
He started from pole, he's down to P3, Critical Noob started second, they're down to P9, Kaikera, who started on the 4th row of the grid, is all the way up into the lead of the race.
Well, honestly, I'm not surprised when it comes to Critical Noob. You can get those fast laps, but, you know, it's all about the consistency. And while he did get second in the last race, I will give him that. The races before, he was lacking on consistency, including France. So, we'll have to see what happens since this is a much more technical track than it was at Britain. So, he might be able to get that fastest lap, but if he can do it consistently, that's what's going to get him that best time.
You can also see here just the amount of turns and undulation through the second sector here. You change direction so many times through this lap.
You know what, Power? I can't see Mickey's front wing either. We're going to have to see what happened on his own point of view, but I really cannot tell where he went wrong.
Yeah, there's no front wings on track, but I saw one of the race directors around the area of turn 8, so maybe they were removing that piece of debris from...
Alright, I'm actually kind of surprised that Indominus is doing so well in this beginning run. He is right there next to Kakera, and Dan Sahajic is right behind him. How is he doing so well? I don't think I've ever seen him do this well at the beginning of a race.
I don't know, he's been good in free practices before. He finished second in free practice 2, I believe, this weekend. But in the race, he hasn't been in the podium positions at all, I don't think. Maybe just something about the characteristics of this track, it being much tighter and it has a lot more elevation change than any other track we visited this season. Maybe the characteristics just suit his driving style.
I mean, from what I've heard, this is one of the most popular tracks when it comes to the racers, and since it's been updated into IFR, there might be another reason for them to start practicing this track a little harder. I mean, I remember Matt was practicing on this track his heart out, and thus was able to get some really good times. Maybe Indominus has been doing the same.
Well, speaking of Matt, they're down in P12, Patrick Kuro is down in P11. 2 of the highest rated drivers in Formula 1 are currently outside of the points and by a significant margin, 6.7 and 8.0 seconds respectively. Hopefully they'll be able to climb their way back up into the order. Professor Bloxer, who qualified quite low, has made their way up into the points. Fernand's only made their way up into P16. The Aston Martin duo are a lot lower than I was expecting in qualifying.
And then you got Miggy, all the way in last place. He's got a lot of time to catch up, as he's maybe halfway of the course behind the other drivers.
Yeah, they've put the hard tyres on. We're expecting them to last between 19 and 24 laps. So Miggy's really trying to do a much longer stint than he would have wanted because he lost his front wing.
Well, understandably, Miggy's going to try and keep out of the pit lane as much as he can now. He already has a pit stop more than the other drivers.
Also,
Something
interestingly,
just
go on, Project.
Danza Hayek went for a push onto the lead, but now seems to be struggling through the faster corners, so maybe he's burnt out his tires already.
Carriage is getting a sizable lead. It almost looks like he's Dakar right now.
Some things happen to Kaikara. Maybe Kaikara has also been practicing really hard on the Ion Formula Racing game, which you can play from the link in the description below. You'll also find a subscribe button down there as well if you want to give that a little nudge. But yeah, a 1.1 second lead, 7 laps in, and this is a short track. We've got 40 laps to get through. This is looking pretty good for Kaikara. I did the maths last night, and throughout the remaining races between Kaikara's current points tally and Dakar's current points tally, if you forget about fastest laps, which you can't really do in the real championship, but if you do the maths and forget about fastest laps, if Dakar won all of the remaining races and Kaikara came second in all of the remaining races, Dakar would win the championship, but only by like 3 or 4 points. So if Kaikara wins today, and it's like that for the rest of the season, there's a very good chance Kaikara may be able to win this championship, and that's going to be in his mind.
Well, that's definitely going to be in his mind, since he really wants to try and secure that off of Dakar. And since he's been able to get on these tracks more than he has, he will be having a bit of an advantage when it comes to that driver's championship.
Okay, no conspiracy theories, but Kaikara and Dakar.
Kaikara Dakar swap bodies?
Yeah,
swap bodies?
They swapped accounts, yeah.
Freaky Friday, Freaky Saturday? I mean, it seems as though Dakar's actually picking up now. He's now in 3rd position, right behind... Oh, Danza Hajek. Hey, what happened to Indominus? Where'd he go? Seems as though he fell back a little bit, now in 4th position, or 5th.
5th position, but they still have the fastest lap of the race. That's crucial. If the points tally at the end of the season is going to be so close, like I was just saying between Kaikara and Dakar, fastest lap points are really going to matter.
That is true. However, it seems as though that, I mean, we're really pretty early into this race. We're not going to be seeing these fastest laps start changing until we get that first pit stop, when drivers start going on soft tires and then they can do a flying lap.
And interestingly, on the tower, it says that Danza Hayek is currently leading, but not anymore. Dakar's got into the lead. Kaikara is second. 5/10 of a second separate the top 3. This gap is incredibly close right now.
Oh, man.
Maybe Kaikara's tyres have now just turned off. Dakar's tyres may have just turned on. Kaikara's running the mediums. Dakar's running the hards. These two different strategies. What's it going to look like at the end of the race?
I'm not sure. It's going to be basically a fight for first at this point between the two of them.
2.7 tenths now between the top two. Kaikara retaking the lead down that main straight. This is incredibly close. Coming into these tight corners now. The tight corners really seem to be where Dakar can like catch up and stuff. He said before he's good on tight circuits, street circuits. He was really dominant in Japan. However, Kaikara seems to be faster in the more sort of flowy sections, which this track also has, as the Audi duo seem to have made their way up into 2nd and 3rd. Statics on debut for Audi in F1. They're meant to be one of their Formula 2 drivers.
Well, you remember what you said about Love Majority and how great he was doing. I think Audi just has the same strategy at the moment, bringing in one of their F2 drivers that, you know, already knows everything. Critical Noob was an F2 driver as well, if you don't remember. So F2 drivers being in F1 and being, competitive is a strategy.
On that point, there's something I want to verify about this.
What would that be?
Static raced for BMW in Greece, so did he race in any F2 event since then? Just interested.
You'll have to look at the...
I am looking at the results and seeing if I find his name in any of them.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
You
Because
may also be able to check the spreadsheets for the championship to see if they scored any points or anything like that.
Or, what would be interesting is if he has done any F2 races this season, then that means he's now going to be locked in F1.
Yeah, and he is one of the Audi's new drivers for Formula 2. He's only been introduced to the team over the summer break, I'm pretty sure.
So that means Merc. What happens to Merc if Static does better?
Gets demoted to F2? I don't know.
Well, I feel like that'd not be something Merc would want, knowing him.
There may be another team looking for drivers like Merc. If
Oh.
Audi no longer want Merc, or maybe we know that Audi and BMW have a very tight partnership. Rowie, they're not doing too well. Even I think they've actually DNF'd. Their 420 Merc might go to Audi, BMW, I mean, or Static could go to BMW.
It could. I mean, who is BMW's other driver right now? Rowie, and he's in last place right now.
He's out.
Wait, what happened to him?
I don't know, but he's out.
I
We
think
might
the
have
servers just
we have
crashed.
a lag.
Yeah.
We have a lag.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain the servers crashed. Yeah, there we go.
All right, got the standing, got the grid standings. We're good.
Okay, so I've done my
Not really,
detective
but we're
work.
good.
And Static S has not done a single race in F2 this season.
So he's.
I'm not
Okay,
sure
so
where
he's
the F2 driver part was pulled from, but I was just seeing if there was something on that.
Well, that's good.
Well, I
Means
know,
he's
I
gonna be
know,
able
I
to do
know,
that.
I know. Static is signed to one of the Audi F2 teams.
Well, that might be as an engineer. We don't know if that's as a
No,
driver.
as a driver,
Oh,
they're in the garage.
well, if he hasn't actually, put any results in it, if he hasn't been in an actual race, he's been in a free practice. It doesn't exactly count. But if it's a race, that's another thing. Okay, looks like we need to try and figure out how to get back into a new server.
So according to Miggy, he lost his wing at the third turn. I don't remember seeing his wing anywhere.
I don't remember that either, but I, wasn't particularly looking into that vicinity, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
I did have a quick look around there and I didn't see anything in particular, but that's what was said.
So probably for Miggy, this is ideal because of that
Yeah,
early
this is
pit
pretty
stop.
ideal.
That their time's just going to be caught right back up.
Okay. So Miggy's front wing was on the exit curb of turn 3. So that's all we need to know. So all the searching for the front wing and it was just on exit curb, so it's
Okay.
clearly camouflaged.
Interesting is the results we got before the crash shows that Hadjick's in first, but also shows that he had the glitch when it came to the lag. So I'm not sure if they're going to put Kaikera into second, or they're going to put him up into first and then Hadjick into second.
I feel like because Kaikera led the most laps out of the two of them, then Kaikara should be the one to start from pole position on the restart. But you can see everybody gridding back up.
So we'll be continuing a further 29 laps.
Seems as though they're going to allow Danza Hajek to take that first grid spot.
Okay.
Of course, a new start. This really helps out drivers like Miggy, for instance, who lost their front wing and now have an opportunity to climb back up through the field now.
That's
They
true,
might start further back on the grid, but certainly a lot closer than they were before.
But you also got to remember, he is still going to be about 20 car lengths behind first place, and he will have to pick that up if he's going to be anywhere in the top 10.
I'll tell you one thing from experience.
You can pick up most of those car lengths just from a tenth quicker on the reaction to the starts. It's surprising. I mean, I recall my start in Mexico Season 3 or my start at Suwon. I gained so many positions just from having fairly fast reaction times, so maybe Miggy might be able to pull off one of those subhuman reaction times like the likes of what we saw from Valtteri Bottas in Austria in 2017, also for Mercedes, or I don't know, he might be able to pick up a lot of positions off the start, so there's always that factor in.
So, interestingly here, I was just thinking, Diceheshek is going to be starting from pole position for the restart. However, Kai Kara will, they're going to be starting second. They've led the most laps, but they're already on the racing line. So, I'm wondering whether the small distance deficit could be overhauled by the fact that they don't have to move all the way over to the left to get back onto the racing line, because if you look at the grids, the gap between the first and second grid slots is shorter than the gap from the left to the right side of the track.
If you look at Dan's car on the grid, you should be able to see that he is angled not particularly he's not parallel to the grid lines, he's angled towards the racing line, and this is something that most F1 drivers actually do for actual race starts. They pivot their cars on the grid, so hopefully he's pivoted his car just so he can get onto the racing line without much of an issue, and it seems to be that way, apart from other drivers have just gone parallel into their grid slots, so maybe they're willing to waste a bit of their tyres to
Well, for the
get onto
drivers
the
further
racing line.
back, it doesn't really matter. They can take more of a shallower angle towards the left compared to those further at the front, because the corner is obviously closer to the front row compared to the back row.
But for someone like Static Ass, who's arguably well out of position in his grid slot, and is aiming, if anything, away from the ideal racing line, he's going to be wasting a lot of tire grip in general just to try and get back onto the common racing line.
Pit strategies are also going to be switched now. We're probably going to be able to see a medium soft or a soft medium. I can see the front two starting on the medium compound of tyre. That will probably do for the rest of the 29 lap race. If you're just joining us, we had 9 laps and the server froze. So Dante Hajek is starting again from pole position. Well, it's doing another start, but not from pole position. As we now get ready to watch the lights. It's a green flag. Here come on 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights are now on. And we're off and away again in Hungary. Looks like a good start for Kaikara. They've already managed to get ahead quite well, as the BMWs also managed to get up there. The Audi of Statics also managed to get into the mix. We'll see them feed through turn 4. This is now coming up the DRS straight, and Daker's also managed to get up there, and it looks like Critical Noob is poking their nose through the front of the field, but Kaikara is definitely the one leading at the moment. Coming through turn number 7, the tight right-hander, and it's a gap back to Critical Noob now, 0.3 of a second. Then Lance Droid, Daker, Dodzer, Fenenjaster, Pachikuro all sharing 5th position there, and it's tight between Lance Droid and Kaikara. Can Lance Droid take the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix going through the middle sector? It looks like he can, but does it look like that on the timing display? Yes, it does. Lance Droid is leading, but barely to Critical Noob and Kaikara, who is currently lining up 3rd or 10th behind the leader.
I must say it was an exceptional start from Kaikara. He was off the line very quick, especially compared to Dan, who's all the way down in P7, I think that is now.
Seems Kaikara's always been pretty good with those starting times. He's always able to get that good reaction to get him up in the lead at the beginning.
Although we're saying that Jogsy's got the fastest lap, Kaikara's all the way down to P6. Critical Noob leads from Lance Droid, Fenenjaster, Daker and Dancer Hayek in the Audi car, 5th place, 9/10 to the leader of Critical Noob. Or is it Lance Droid? We just can't tell. We'll find out when they cross the first timing line, but at the start-finish straight, it was 0.07 seconds between the Red Star and the Lamborghini driver. And it's got an even shorter, 0.05 seconds between P1 and P2. P4 is shared, or P3. Danza Hajek and Daker 2, both 0.716 seconds behind Critical Noob.
My goodness, both Lamborghini drivers are in the top 6 right now.
Fennon's just fallen to 7th. As you said that, Jogsy's fallen to 13th, still has the fastest lap. Kaikara is sharing 5th. Pachikuro is in 10th, so both KRs now in the points. As Critical Noob is leading from Daker, or is that Lance Droid now? These positions are flip-flopping back and forth, it's hard to tell. Critical Noob leads, Daker takes the fastest lap in 2nd place, Lance Droid 3rd, Kaikara falls to 9th, Pachikuro 7th.
Seems as though Critical Noob was able to get his groove together finally, which is pretty good, seeing as he's leading ahead of Daker now.
Kaikara's amazing start has turned into, well, not an amazing start after the first 3 laps. 1.9 seconds now behind the leader in P9.
Oh, wow, Critical Noob just went off the track a little bit. That's going to give Daker an advantage and able to slipstream him off of these curves. Looks like he might be able to get the advantage. He might be able to get up in front. It seems as though Daker might actually get that first place by the time we get to that next sector. We'll see.
And he does by 1.91 tenths of a second. Critical Noob is going to be chasing them down, however they're getting the slipstream. Daker is weaving over the track to try and lose the slipstream from Critical Noob.
Is he far enough ahead in order for him to even get that slipstream? I mean, it's not going to make much of an advantage unless we get to the DRS, in which they are on now. Seems as though Critical Noob's still a little too close to get that advantage.
They're so tight though, 3/10 between the Brand Star and the Red Star. It's Daker leading, it's Kaikara 9th, Pachikuro 10th. The restart for KR Racing hasn't gone too well at all. They would have wanted to be higher up here. Kaikara would have wanted to be in Daker's position, but at the end of the day, he isn't. All the way down in P9, now 3 seconds behind the leader. He really needs to get his groove on if he wants to win this championship. He's on the medium tyres, so is everyone else around him. There's only a couple of hard runners to be seen. He should be faster. In theory, on paper, he should be faster, but he isn't.
I think you saw one Lambo driver's Fenenjaster making a huge mistake, getting all sideways on one of the sausage curbs, I'm fairly certain. About
That's definitely going to be bad for him. Oh my
turn
lord.
13.
Daker's just running away. Oh, but here we go to the first DRS zone again. And I think Critical Noob and Dancer Hedrick are going to have enough area on Dakar in order for them to get that DRS.
Yes, they both have their rear wings open.
Oh, that's going to be good for them.
Hikera's
Not
made
only
it up
will
to
it be able
8th.
not only be able to catch up to Dakar, but will also get some time away from the ones behind them, unless they get their DRS. It's kind of an interesting situation with the whole DRS zone. We're seeing the group separate now. Dakar now a good half second off of the other drivers.
A good second to Critical Noob. Between Static and Critical Noob, it's about half a second. 2/10 between Critical and Static now. 1.3 seconds from Dakar to Critical. Dakar is running away again. There's a bit of a battle for position 7 from Indominus Rex. Kaikara, Professor Bloxer are all within a second of each other. So is Pachakuro. They're getting in the mix there as well. And then it's just scattered about in the top 6 and scattered about in the bottom 10, that is now. And Riley Vaj has disconnected. I'm not sure if they actually started the race, so I don't think they would have been allowed to continue anyways.
There's an
Yeah,
absolute
question.
gaggle for P16 at the moment.
Oh my god, yes, there is. There's 5 people inside of each other.
Oh wow, I see that too. In the very back. Is Miggy's? Sorry, not Miggy. Actually, yeah, Miggy. Miggy is caught up in there.
Yeah, Miggy's right in the middle of it.
I just realized, where's the other Uprise driver?
Dino's up into 11th.
Oh, I see him. He's over fighting with the Aston Martin and another KRR. I believe that might either be Patty or Kakara.
One of the
That's
two.
Shakira.
Well, they're right next to each other, to be honest.
I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing a couple of crashes from drivers around about this point.
We
Well,
didn't see
interestingly
any
enough-
crashes. Rowie DNF, but I'm not sure how that happened. I'm not sure if they crashed or not. That was the only DNF that we saw in the first 10 laps of the first part of the race.
Riley Batch may have disconnected. And those are the only ones we've had issues with. However, we also know that we didn't have any proper pit stops. We had Miggy getting a pit stop for his front wing, but we didn't see any actual proper pit stops before the disconnect.
Yeah, there wasn't strategy at all. So strategy. It says Dino's leading the race, but that definitely isn't true.
That definitely is not true.
There was a spin for one of the McLarens that seems to be Aviaton Shad. Their car is mostly intact.
Oh yeah, they're falling back massively.
Did they have a... Alright, they're down in 13th now. We're good.
They were incredibly lucky to remain unscathed from that incident.
But the
Well, we get
only
it.
only mark from that is going to be that 3-second gap now to the car ahead.
Interestingly enough, it seems as though Critical Noob was actually able to get the advantage on Dakar. He's now going to take that first place right before the starting grid. And behind him is going to be Dakar. Then you got Dan Zahajek. Behind him will be Matt. And then we have Static and one of the Lamborghini drivers. I'm not sure which one. I'm guessing it's going to be Lance Droid.
That is Lance Droid indeed.
Story of the day for your depot. Riley Vaj didn't disconnect. He'd crashed earlier on in the race, and clearly we'd missed that.
Oh, okay.
Obviously,
Did they start the actual
lead
race
battle.
though? Did they start at the actual proper start of the race? I can't remember their name.
Well, I would assume they did because they are on the grid.
I mean, there's only one way to find out.
I mean,
No, we
maybe
just
they
have
had
an
a
extreme
point of view.
rewind.
They did start the race.
Okay,
So.
I apologise.
Do we know which turn they crashed on?
I don't know, you could ask them, find out.
Oh, I thought you did.
It's not my job. Actually,
Well,
it kind of
everybody-
is, actually.
I mean, yeah. If anybody can speak to Riley Batch, we'd love to know which turn he actually crashed out on so we can get an idea of what happened.
So Riley Vaj is in the stream chat saying we crashed at the start of the second sector, which
Start of
I'm
the
fairly
sector.
certain is the fastesses. So yeah,
Yeah,
very
that's after the
expected
tight
most drivers
left,
crash
right,
here.
left. Or right, left, right, sorry.
It was going into the S's. Okay. So I'm assuming that's the fast right-hander that initiates the sections.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
I'm getting a bit of lag. Anybody else?
yeah,
Mhm.
this it
Oh,
can't have
it
already
can't be
happened again.
that soon?
It's another 9 laps in.
There was not another 9 laps in. It was 11 before.
No, it was
And there
9
it is.
before.
It was 11.
It was 11.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Well,
maths
it's
isn't very
And
good.
that's a crash.
You have two people disagreeing with you, saying it was 11, but you still insisted it was 9.
The
'Cause
screenshot showed 11 of 40.
Because I saw the number 9 next to 29.
Oh, no, it's 9 this time, but
It's
the
9 this
last one was
time.
11.
Okay. Okay. So we've had another crash, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for that.
Well, this is completely going to ruin strategies.
It seems at this rate we're going to have a race in 4 legs.
Well, no matter how this track's going to go, at least it won't be as bad as Belgium.
At least you get to see racing.
Yeah, at least you do. Waiting for the server to restart. Seems as though we got a new one in now. Everybody started to join back in. Test, test. Anybody there?
I am here. I'm just
All right.
being a silent. In this break, there isn't much to see. But if you do want to see something for if the server crashes again, we've got plenty of content on the channel, or you could become a YouTube member. Then we have loads of things you can watch, such as, or rather listen to. We have exclusive War on Wheels interviews from last season, which I'm going to try and edit some more of together during the week. We also have some team radios from the last few races, if you want to have a little snoop into what the other teams are thinking. And we also have custom wallpapers, if you want to do wallpaper. And more stuff coming soon.
You can definitely tell that the energy of the whole group of racers goes down after every disconnect.
Yeah.
Well, we might not be seeing a pit stop this race. Well,
This
maybe
is
one.
This is starting to seem awfully similar to, well, just a regular, real F1 race where it's or F1 practice session where it's red flag after red flag after red flag. Server crashes to us are like real crashes to them,
It's
causing red
interesting.
flags.
It's interesting to note that most of the crashes have been happening on F1 and not many of the other race types. I don't know if this is just an issue with the coding of the cars or if there's something else like a secondary source, but
That's including F2, which runs from the same place. So I doubt it's something to do with the place if F2 itself isn't crashing. So
maybe it has to do with the cars. I mean, I'm
could
not
do.
that
I
good of
mean,
I mean, I'm not that much of a coder, but I don't know. I can do process of elimination.
I don't think that the cars aren't really that high strain on the server. So there are many factors that could possibly
Well,
cause a server crash.
you got to think it doesn't have to do with the fans because most of them aren't
They
even
don't
there.
exist.
They don't exist. We only have about 70 player. I think we only had about 76 on the last one.
If I had
But
to put it down to anything, I would put it down to just the timing systems and the data
waiting,
systems and such.
just waiting on Faster to open the gates, whenever that is.
I think there's a ranking problem because Faster
Oh
said
no, there
that
definitely is.
none of the directors are being ranked, and I'm also not being ranked correctly.
Yeah, I haven't gotten permissions either. But
And
since he is an owner, he should be able to have the commands to do that.
an interesting point that's just been brought up to me. It could be Slipstream, because Slipstream in Ion is simulated by the cars creating a ton of invisible blocks that the drivers can go through, and that gives them less drag when they go through it. So maybe we're just causing so many of those to be generated, and a certain amount of time is causing a lot of load on the server, plus whatever else is being added on with all the other scripts.
I mean, Fasta was supposed to be able to find some solutions to that, and we thought they were. I mean, we have to admit this is not as bad as it was in Australia.
It's not as bad as in Australia, but it's the consequences are still the same.
That is true. Well, it seems as though somebody has admin commands. Mickey going around with sparkles and fire. Now, it looks like people have just realized that the camera's being streamed.
At this point, I think everyone's just trying to find a way to entertain themselves in the pit lane.
Anyways, let's go look at this nice pit exit right here.
Yes, turn away from all of the
Beautiful,
people shouting.
beautiful pit exit right here. Yeah, beautiful.
The pit exit.
Perfect architecture. I love the Yokohama signs, the Zint signs. Oh, it's great. It's great. Anyways, back to the grid.
The grid. Ah, yes, the grid. Let's take a grid walk. If the camera could follow me, let's take a grid walk, shall we?
Oh, hello, power unit.
Hello. Right. So this is the first grid slot. As you can see, it has a number 1 right here. That's how the driver knows that they're on pole position and they should park here. You know, all the obvious stuff. Oh my. Why are so many people here? We've got P2. These for the people that aren't quite good enough for pole, but is still relatively high up in the standing. And then the rest is just irrelevant because no one cares about P2 or less.
I do.
Well, then let's look at Let's look at P19 real quick. Here's P19.
Oh yes,
This is
P19.
usually where we see real Miggy Cool-It, but yeah, let's go look at the pit lane real quick.
Yeah,
Here we
that's a
have
good
our-
idea. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
here's all of the pit areas.
Oh yeah.
We can see
Should-
Red
should we-
Star on. We can see Red Star on the screen right now. It's going to be on the top of it. That will be Cool Plug Alt.
I think
You
it'd be a
never-
good idea to run people through how the pit walls work.
Oh yeah, definitely. Here,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna- here, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, yeah. Let's show them how they work. So we have these screens, as you can see, and they give data, and they're about to be covered up by people because
Man, the paparazzi.
the paparazzi. Okay, I think that we've seen enough of the pit wall. How about we look inside the garages? You know?
That sounds good.
Yeah, we've got
Oh, here we have
Uh,
Patty Figaro right here with us.
yeah, Patrick.
Your old driver.
Yes, my old driver. You're right.
Seems to be getting.
And now being bullied by cars.
Yes. Oh god.
These.
This is what happens when you give them a sprint command.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Oh, this is getting out of hand.
I can't wait for them to say that this is all sabotaging KRR. All right, let's go look at Kaikera real quick.
Yeah, let's look at Kaikira. No, we can see his race engineer.
Oh yeah, it's a great car. It's built up properly and everything else, and we can see Kaikera right there, getting ready for the next race.
The next race already. Yo. Oh my god. That car has been beaten to a pulp.
This is the power of paparazzi.
Alright, now would be a
Anyways,
great time
Let's
to
look at the grid. Let's look at the grids.
No. It's okay. It's okay. It's actually none of the crates are running. Who cares about the crates? Oh, let's look at Indominus.
Oh, yeah.
Rex.
Who
Yeah,
cares about the
Indominus Rex.
Prix?
Now I remember Indominus Rex in the qualifying session. He was trying to go backwards in the pit, and then was actually doing really well during the start of the race. Or interesting is gonna see how he. I can't keep a straight face. All right, well that'll go. That's great for him. Anyways, where's Miggy? Where is Miggy? There's Miggy.
Mickey.
There's Miggy. All right, let's go see. Let's see another Miggy crash moment. Here it is. Yep. Can't wait for somebody to make a gif of this. Oh, I think they'd give it up now. I think they're
No,
tired.
no. We just need to
Never
give them
mind.
time
No,
to get here.
there it is. There it is.
Oh my. Oh, I thought someone had ruined it and turned it to green flag. Oh my god.
There it goes. Yeah,
There's
there you have it.
Wait, what? Where did the car go? Oh,
Right there. There it is.
it
It's out on the
disappeared.
track. Oh, I think Miggy has turned on the spaz command.
Yes. So you know when we said we're surprised that people aren't doing stuff to keep them entertained, we were wrong.
Actually, here let's go look over here real quick because Hungary actually has some interesting features.
Yeah,
Because
let's
right
go
in
look
this
at the.
whole section. Right in this whole section right here, we have its own little mall.
No. I think there's an amazing feature on this track. If you look towards turn 2, you can see this giant monster can.
Oh, that is true. We will get to that in a minute. But no, first
Yeah,
off, we're going to
we'll get to that in a
take a
minute.
bit of a stop at McDonald's real quick with this McCafe.
Oh yeah.
The modern architecture, man. You don't see any old McDonald's around anymore. They've all been changed to this crazy square designs and everything else. Kind of sad, honestly. And then we have Tully's Coffee.
I'm noticing a severe lack of Malski's pizza. It's actually pretty disappointing.
That is true, but why do you need Mouski's Pizza when you can have West Wing?
Ah yes, West Wing.
Anyways. Oh, hang on a second. Here's a Craig section. What is this? The new Versace.
It's the new Versace.
And then we have
Oh,
the Tivoli headquarters.
I
of the
can't
two.
get on top of the monster can. I was going to have a really funny bit where I'm sat on top of it, but no.
Arts at Tivoli. Anyways, yeah, let's go check out that monster can real quick since we got some time.
Oh yeah, the art exhibition that we have. Oh, that is an absolutely beautiful shot of that monster can. I think that
Anyways,
that
let's
product
look at
placement
the.
is perfect.
Yeah, there's the madness. This is what happens when Faster doesn't open the walls.
Oh boy.
This is Ion in its purest form.
Absolute scenes in the pit lane.
Anyways, to turn to.
Yeah, let's go for a track walk entirely.
That is a great point. Anyways, oh, hello, power unit. I see you right there.
Hi. I'm going to run around the track and you follow me and I'm going to show the racing line.
All right, sounds good. We'll just follow power unit real quick.
Yeah. As you can see, this is what peak Ion racing performance looks like.
You got to keep
Right.
in mind, this is what all the people do right before the free practices.
This is literally what people do for the free practices, right? Hairpin, take the inside and go as wide as you can, then quickly
I
back
got
out to the outside, then into the inside again, wide, and then outside, and then inside. Go, yeah, there we go. Perfect.
I gotcha. I gotcha. I'm following you. I'm getting your proper helicam footage right here.
Oh, yeah, this is. Oh, we've already got people waiting for me on the track. That's how you know.
This is
Oh,
this is
I've
a
just
real Ion
overtaken
moment.
3 people right there. Alright, I'm gonna take
Gonna take
the
the
totally illegal line.
you can only take this line when you're not in a car, man. Honestly,
The- the-
so much advantage not being in a car, honestly.
you can only possibly take these good lines when not in a car. Nobody is faster than me on this track right now. Oh,
Oh, well, there goes the fun.
Seems like Faster has had to
Well,
do some behind the scenes work in order to
man,
get things working.
faster really hit us with the no fun allowed.
That was pretty slow.
Oh,
wow.
we were
You
momentarily
really
joined by
joined to
Indominus
tell me
Rex.
that I was slow. Wow.
I think that was
I
Indominus. Yeah, Indominus really getting on us for basically sabotaging him in the section. We're not going to do that again, right?
never. We'd
No.
never do
Such a terrible thing to someone.
All right. Well, let's see if they got the server reset.
Seems like it's working.
Let's
'cause
let's
I've been
let's look for
buffering.
Easter eggs. I wonder if they've added any Easter eggs to this.
Hey, there we go. We're back in business.
We
We've
should be
got
able to get
Tivoli
underway shortly.
headquarters.
Yep. Looks like everybody's able to finally get out of the garages. We are back in business. And grid camera is on.
I'm going to take a quick stroll to most likely one of the most scenic places on the Ion calendar, and I'm sure Shay will take great pride in joining me there.
Where are you?
Allow me to continue my voyage there, and then I will.
Okay, because I'm just looking at the starting grid at the moment.
Yeah, someone's already failed doing a 180 out of the pit lane, which is
Really?
great. Trying to find a way to it. This can't make it.
Oh, don't
Right.
worry, Deepod's already following you.
How do we have these good cams? Like, I'm just running around the track and we've got these amazing cams. Ridiculous. Technology is so good. Oh, I can't get through that gap. Surely. Okay, right. We're gonna take a run down the grid anyway. So
Alright,
These
here we-
slots are unnumbered because we need extra slots for other series. So, Aviaton Chad, he had a spin. That probably means he's a bad driver. We've got Asa. I don't know what happened to him. He's just kind of back here now in eSpirit.
Let me get
We
you
got Mr. Lackey Shot. He qualified quite well in the Mazda, actually. And now he's down in P18? No one's in P17, apparently. Someone's probably there. Miggy, of course. We got Mr. Macho Globe in P16. That's just average McLaren. The foreman, right there. P15, I don't know. Probably a driver. We've got Jogsy in P14. The man with the funniest number on the grid. He's got the six. He's got his number 69. It's incredibly comedic. Then we've got Dino and Jacob doing an incredible performance in the Uprise Motorsports car here. Number 34 car. We don't put a certain letter before that. We've got P12 and P11 basically empty. I think Professor Blocks is supposed to be P11. That's quite low for the Aston Martin team. We've got Indominus Rex P10 right now. And then we got Patrick Curris 7 in P8. It'd be funny if he was in P7, but he's rather out of his grid slot right now. I think he should reverse a little. Now we have Kaikira. Oh, he's very well positioned in the 7th grid slot. Dan Sehayek, also known as Kettle Sehayek, the 37 car. He's sat in P6 right now. Nothing more to say about that. Then we have Landstroid in the Lamborghini, probably one of the highest positions I've seen a Lamborghini in since Britain qualifying. The number 3 car in P5. Come on, if you've got the number 3 on your car, you might as well be in 3rd seat. We got Matt in P4. He's just Matt. I have nothing to say. Static 5. I haven't actually heard a lot about this guy. He's just P3, and clearly he's a good driver. He's from Audi, so Critical Noob. He's been here a while. He has 2 1s on his car, and that usually adds up to 2, so I assume that's why he's in P2 right now. Then we have Dakar in P1. I have nothing else to say about that, really. It's Dakar.
Alright, well, thank you for our grid walk around, Power Unit. Let's get back to the starting grid, as we should be able to restart this race in a bit. I'm looking in the chat, and Ishan Prabrahala is saying to Power Unit, Project Aviation said you're a bozo without a seat, and he is a main.
Just because you're a main driver doesn't mean you're better than me.
It looks like we're waiting on Dakar to respawn his car, and we're waiting on
he
another one.
spawned
I
it
can't
for some
remember what it is.
reason, and then decided to go back into the pits, which I don't
May
understand
have had
why.
some issues. May have updated the downforce.
Possibly.
That's the great thing about these server crashes, is you get to change your...
The Miggy going into podium spot? Miggy going in pole?
The great thing about these server restarts is that you can change your setup. So if you know you've spent like half of the race on this really bad setup where you're understeering in every corner, that means that you can now change your setup to one that's less understeering, and one that will probably send you into the wall because you put too little rear wing onto it.
I really hope we get a funny moments in Ion Racing for that full stint. Peapod, you know what to do. Anyways, based on the starting grid camera, it seems as though everybody is in place, and sooner or later we will be restarting this race again. How many laps do we have left?
Apparently 1, according to the timing power. I'm fairly
Apparently,
certain that's not
yeah,
correct.
2 of 3.
It's a 3-lap race.
I mean, I think we have 20 laps left, based on the fact that we had a crash at 9 and a
Yeah.
crash at 11.
Exactly 20 laps left. Yeah. F2 shouldn't be cancelled. This is usual for F1 to have all these crashes and then F2 is delayed, so
That is true.
expect that to be coming not normal time, but
In the not
Can
too
we-
distant
can I-
future.
can I talk to you about the second set of lights on the grid? And their
No, I see
Clear.
it. I see it.
their clear structural instability, their clear issue with existing, really.
No, that's some pretty strong. That's some pretty strong structure. You got like 7, 8 people dancing on top of it.
No. I'd like to see if you can look at the clear engineering issue with the second set of the light.
Well, we might be able to do that later because we are going to need to get this race started sooner rather than later so that we can get F2 running on at least normal
On
schedule.
schedule?
Apparently not on schedule anymore.
Oh.
Why is it?
Something's up. Something's up. I'm
Let's
not
go-
sure, but
I was gonna say, why are we doing Azerbaijan again? Goddamn.
I'm not sure. Fast to shut down the server again. I don't know why this time. I thought everything was in working order, but apparently not. Anyways, let's do this again.
Let's see.
So maybe we might get a chance to look at the... Oh, it's been rectified. That's sad. I wanted to make fun of the... Okay.
Right, well, let's do this all over again. Seems as though, I think I know his problem. I think he was trying to make sure the lights are working. Seems as though they're working now, based on the starting grid camera.
It is indeed like the Belgian Grand Prix. It is very stop-start, apart from the Belgian Grand Prix didn't have multiple server crashes.
No, it just had a complete crash at the very beginning and never recovered.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time that real life had a server crash, to be honest. Anyone have any examples of that? Or
Oh, I can't think of
no.
any.
Can't think
Probably
of it.
been a really,
Ah.
really long time.
yeah, we must. He's telling people for all personnel to be off the grid before all cars are even on the grid. What?
Well, that would make sense. He wants to get this working in a timely order, and once every car is on the grid, he's going to start that race.
Yeah, he doesn't want anyone getting in the way at all.
And then you got Low Fun Greg, who just doesn't care.
Low Fun Greg will always be Low Fun Greg. He needs to speak to his favorite driver, Critical Noob 321. I almost said 123, but
Oh man,
You know.
one of the monsters almost completely destroyed his car right off the beginning.
did he actually destroy his car?
He's riding the walls. He hit the walls at least twice now.
Okay.
I'm surprised his car's still intact.
It would be incredibly funny if he broke his car on the grid.
He's still going back too. I'm not sure he knows how to turn it around.
Well,
You can see that top corner of your screen right now, all the way back there. And he just restarted his car. He might have had some issues.
maybe some issues with his skill of turning around. I say that as Aviaton Chad spends a lot of time hitting the wall with his rear wing just to get that extra rotation on the car to get on into his grid slot.
Seems as though we're only waiting on one more driver, maybe two? No, two drivers.
We're waiting on P18 and the driver that wasn't a Mazda, which is something I don't think I should be saying. It might have been an uprise? No, Miggy's there, so I'm not entirely sure who. Oh. Oh, it's the other Aston Martin, Vernon, of course. Matt has just proclaimed in chat that he is paid in monthly anime subscriptions. Shay, can you confirm or deny that statement, please?
Who is?
Matt paid in
No.
monthly anime subscriptions. Oh, he's not?
No, I pay him directly. If that's what he does with his money, I could care less. However, Patrick Currow does have his own little payment strategy of where I have to pay him in Steam gift cards.
Steam gift cards.
Steam
That
gift
just
cards.
sounds like a scam. Of course, the
$35.
Icelanders.
Hey, $35 worth of Steam games. I think that's a bargain. Every 2 weeks you get $35 worth of Steam games. I think that's a bargain.
No, but like, get so much more with $35 in general. Like,
Just get
Steam
paid,
games?
No,
man, come on.
it's his issue if he doesn't want to make a PayPal. That's how he told me to do it.
oh, it's just okay. Anyway, we've got told to watch the live. Let's stop bantering and let's get ready for a race.
Here they come on then. 4 lights, 5 lights for the 3rd time today.
And looks. Oh, there we go.
Oh, we're
Had
off and
somebody
away
on-
again. It looks like it froze for a second, but it hasn't. We're coming now down into turn 1. Dakar leading from, it looks like Hajek. No, that's Static, sorry, in the Audi. Kai Kara's got a massive launch off the start again. This is what he needs to get it up and potentially win this race. He needs all the points he can for the championship. Going down now into turn 5. A really tight right-hander. I can see the number 7 on the side of Patrick Currow's car. I can see the number 1 on the side of Dakar's car. They're battling it out through the first sector. We're now going to go into the S's, uphill slightly, then diving back downhill through turns 8, 9, 10, 11. Through the double left-hander, and it says Dakar's leading, but it's switching around.
What was that? One of the KRs went off track for a second there. I thought he was about to hit
Patrick
something wrong.
Currow. He's
Yeah,
lost a
Patrick
lot
Currow's
of
down
time.
to 10, 9th, sorry.
Oh my god, both of the Audis are in front right now.
So it's a Audi 1-2 leading off the line. Dakar and Kaikara are sharing positions. Matt is 5th. Indominus is 6th. Professor Blocks is 7th. Critical Noob for Red Star 8th. Patrick Currow 9th. Fen and Joster and Fernand sharing positions.
Brandstar, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, hang on a second. Aston Martin, Professor Blockster is able to cut into that. But
look,
right now,
it's-
it is Audi and Brandstar's race.
It is Audi leading with Dakar 2nd, Professor Blocks of 4th, sharing that position with Static, both 0.366 seconds behind the leader. But as we come down the DRS straight, it looks as if Dakar is challenging for that position. Matt's in there, Static's in there, Professor Blocks is in there, everybody's in there for that first position. It's so tight, the entire field spread is now just 4.3 seconds.
Oh, I had some lag. Oh, my heart dropped.
Oh, someone spun. It's Miggy. He spun round. He's now well
Miggy
far
had
behind
another
all
moment.
the other drivers.
That's another Miggy moment. At least his front wing's still intact, so he might be able to catch up. Although he
At least
only
his
has
car's still
19 laps
intact.
to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just gone over the runoff area there slightly, and again, and again.
Yeah.
Wow, what is this case with the Audis so far? They are just being blindingly fast.
Maybe it's the lesser fuel that's aiding their driving styles, I do not know, but as things currently stand, it's an Audi 1-3 and a Brandstar 2-4 with Matt in the
someone's
lead of
coming to
that
the
battle.
pit. It's Mr. Matcher Globe, I think, who's lost his
Yeah,
front
they've lost
wing.
their front wing.
I'm going to go on a mission to try and find that front wing.
Go for another
I will
track walk.
I'll keep a lookout as well.
I mean, we were fairly terrible at it last time we searched
Yeah,
for one.
just look for a black and blue wing. That should be good.
Yeah.
Here's Dante Hajek, the
Audi's-
current race leader.
The Audis are still up ahead. I'm looking too. I can't see one yet.
Could it be in the non-collide round?
No. Check that first section again, because remember that's where Miggy lost his wing at the beginning.
Miggy didn't lose his wing, he just slid out slightly.
No, we're talking about where he lost his wing pre.
At the very beginning.
Oh,
at the beginning.
okay.
No, I'm not seeing the wing. Sorry.
I will remain searching for that until I find it.
It seems like Dakar has managed to put his car into second place. Yes, he hasn't. He hasn't, but it is third place for... It's a 2-3 for Brandstar, a 1-4 for Audi. Kaikera with the fastest lap is currently in 5th place. Only 1.133 seconds behind Daz Hajek. If he can get a good run through this lap, he'll be able to catch up in absolutely no time. The entire field spread right now, excluding Mr. Mucha Globe, who lost his front wing, is only 13 seconds. That's insane.
And here they come across the S-curves, that little high-speed section. Oh,
One of the
man.
Lambos goes very wide.
Those Brandstars and Audis are so close together, you can't even tell who's in the lead.
They're just running away with it.
Oh,
right behind
someone's
him, it's gonna be
crashed.
chaos.
Mr. Lucky Shot in the Mazda. He's crashed.
Oh, yeah, that's the
turn
Mazda right on
8.
the wall.
Luckily, it's far offline, so it shouldn't be that much of an issue. And
That will
they
need to
should
be
clear up
reset,
the car
however.
very soon.
Looks like he's trying to get out. Is he out of the car?
He is out of the car.
Out of the car. Will the car be respawned, or it's taking an awfully long time? Thankfully, it isn't on track.
And across the line, seems Brandstar is going to get the 1-2 with Audi right behind them. We'll see if that keeps up during the first DRS zone. Or, I'm sorry, the only DRS zone.
The car still hasn't been respawned.
I mean, it's not going to be that much of an issue unless somebody does a similar mistake that he did. I mean, it is off in that runoff area. It's not going to affect the racing at all.
No, but it probably should still just be respawned for...
That is true. Hopefully one of the Mazda people can take care of that soon. Hey, if anybody can hear me from Mazda, please, respawn your car. Come on.
Yeah, we would greatly appreciate it if you respawned the car. Your services are appreciated.
Here
Even
is
though
the
Audi
race
is going to be
leader.
able to get the lead.
Yeah, it's the race leader of not only the driver, but also the teams. They're doing incredibly well up there with the Brandstars. Both Brandstar and Audi are pretty much on the exact same pace right now. And that car has been reset, I can confirm. So that is a green flag.
They're going crazy fast through this section. It's hard to keep up with them.
Yeah, Daz Hajek and Matt are side by side going down the DRS straight to turn number 5. And Daz Hajek holds the lead. Dakar goes to the inside there slightly. Oh, and Fenenjaster gets a little bit slidey.
Danson Hadjek's still in the lead, but Dakar's right on his tail. Oh, I think he took that corner better than Danson Hadjek did. He's going to be able to get the lead.
The gap was only 0.3
Dust.
seconds. We'll see what happens when they cross the sector line, which is only a couple corners away.
It's amazing how different these lines are between these 4 drivers.
Dakar takes the lead.
And it seems as though Kaiker is going to be able to get ahead too. It looks like he might be able to get 3rd position.
Well, to me, Shay, the reason that these drivers have different lines is just to try and stay out of the dirty air, I'm assuming.
That is true. Okay, actually, this is interesting. Look where Critical Noob is right now. Looks like he fell back into 8th position.
That's not a good start off of the front row, and the last time Critical Noob started off the front row at the start of the race, he also fell down a lot of positions.
So this means that Mazda is completely out of the race with that recent crash.
Here you can see just after Miggy spun around on the opening lap of the second restart.
I mean, no offense to...
Oh, someone's gone off at turn...
Yeah, that seems
It's
to be
Miggy! Miggy's crashed at turn 1. Turn 2, sorry.
Turn 2. Let me see.
Just as I run a replay of Mickey crashing.
Oh,
he
yep,
crashes
there
again.
it is. Yeah, I see him.
Miggy is still yet to finish a race.
He has broken both front wheels. That car is going nowhere.
Oh dear.
I
Oh,
just
dear,
saw
Mickey.
it in the corner of my eye. I was looking from above on the track, and I just happened to catch him go straight into a barrier.
That is yet another car which has just been reset, as you can see there. So that is a green flag. Wow, this is a brilliant shot, Shea. You can really see the speed of these cars coming out of that corner.
Mickey is still yet to finish a race.
As Fenenjaster has come into the pits.
Oh.
They've gone
that's
onto the
understandable.
hards.
Oh, that's strange. Fenenjaster had been struggling on the rear tyres, but I'm questioning the choice to go onto the hard tyres.
Probably could have made it to the end on mediums, to be honest. It's only, what is that now, 12 laps to go?
Yeah, unless, to be fair, I haven't seen much of the data, or I haven't done a lot of data for this track, but I'm fairly certain that you should be able to drag mediums for well on 15 laps. For if
It says here
experience has any-
with the data that I've got, medium laps should be able to last between 14 and 17 laps around this circuit, and it's 18 laps to go, and you can easily push that just one more lap and it'll be fine. They're just average numbers.
You know, it would be an interesting coincidence if we see another disconnect going between the 9 and 11 laps. Because if that does happen, then we're just going to see no, intentional pit stops.
Oh yeah, let's hope that it doesn't. I really want to see a soft tyre last lap thrash to the end, or even some people trying to take their tyres to the end. That would be crazy.
someone stop on the track. Oh no, that's just a long freeze of them.
Aviator on Chad is into the pits as well, or out of the pits I should say. We'll see what tyre they've gone on to when they come by the camera. It is the mediums.
That's pretty early for a pit stop in this race.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we are now halfway through the restart.
That is true.
So Mickey is saying he got caught out by a bump on the first turn. Hold up.
Oh.
I'm
Professor
fairly
Bloxer-
certain another
Professor Bloxer
car
seems
has
to be out
crashed.
as well.
Hold up,
Patrick Curro is out of this race.
As well.
What happened?
Oh my god. We've had two
He
DNFs
crashed
I
in
haven't
the
even
same
seen.
place as the Mazda.
Well, the Mazda's been out, but Patrick
Is the
Crew
car
being out is
reset?
actually... I don't see it on the track.
Vernon comes into the pits then. The car has been reset. It was around the start of the Fast S's section.
So
Oh,
for two
well,
races in a row, it seems like the only car for KRR that will be scoring points is Kai Kera, because in Britain Patrick Kera didn't finish in the points, and he definitely won't be finishing in the points today. Fernand's now the only remaining Aston Martin. This is crazy stuff in the final half of the inaugural Hungarian Grand Prix.
And the worst part is, we didn't even see it.
As someone with experience with that KRR second seat, I'm fairly certain that it is cursed.
Are you sure it's cursed, or is it just you in it?
I mean, Patrick
Static
Curl
dives into
is
the
yet
pits.
to
Anyway,
finish in the
yeah, it
From
looks
the
like
lead.
Static is going to be going into the pits. It looks like Kaikira is going to be going into the pits as well. I wonder if they were a little scared off of that Patrick Crew crash and are going to try and play it safe. Oh, Lamborghini also going into the pits, as you can see from this pit cam real quick. Looks like we got an Audi going into the pits as well. E-Spirit not going to be pitting, but it looks like, okay, that
Everyone's
looks
coming
like a
into the
black
pits.
car.
Don's Hejek's in the pits
Uprise
as
is gonna be
well.
pitting. Red Star is going to be pitting, and E-Spirit's going to be pitting. It looks like everybody's going to start doing that. They're
Oh,
halfway
Space
through
Ghost
the
got a bit
track.
slidey there.
Everybody's about halfway through the race, so they're going to start doing their pits. Or at least halfway through this stint. And
I
who's
just
in the
want to
lead?
show
Dakar.
you. Dakar's leading with Matt in second. I just want to show you the really late dive here from Static in the lead. They go right past the pit entry and then dive off to the right.
You understand what that's all about. That's just what Kaikara did in Britain
Yeah.
last race.
I mean, that's usually the line, to be honest, I would take into the pit lane anyway. I wouldn't go over to the right. Because then
And-
they just know that you're pitting.
Seems as though Decare is not going to be pitting, but Matt will be.
Matt is into the pits, and
Which means Decare's still running it pretty hard. And who's going to be right behind him? It seems as though that's a Red Star. Is that Critical Noob? Yes, it is.
Taikara's gone on to the mediums. I'm interested to see what Matt goes on to. They were on mediums to begin with. Are they going to go to softs? Because I haven't seen anybody run the softs yet in today's race. We also have an E-Spirit coming in. That's Acer. They've gone to another set of mediums.
Interesting. Seems as though mediums might not be the proper strategy in this race.
Critical Noob has gone to the hard compound tyre, so is Dakar. They haven't pitted yet though, so maybe they're trying to take these tyres to the end. Indominus Rex also on hards, it's up to 3rd position.
I think Critical Noob's just trying to hold it out as long as Decare is at the moment. I mean, are Decare and Critical Noob on the same tire compounds?
They're all, the top 3 are all on hards.
Okay, then maybe what Critical Noob is doing is he's waiting to see when Decare pits, so he knows that that would be the time for him to pit as well. He's going to be trying to, copy the strategy that Decare is. Maybe. I'm not saying that's guaranteed, but just off of the assumption of the fact that neither one of them is pit yet, is
Oh.
no, please no.
Oh,
No.
not again.
No.
At this point, if
At this point, if it disconnects, we're probably going to go off of this and give half points, because
yeah,
there's no reason to continue the race off of 8 laps.
there we go.
And there it is.
So...
Yikes!
I don't know whether that's going to be the final tally. I'll keep an eye out in management.
I don't think there's any reason to continue on with this race.
I feel horrible saying it, but yeah, I feel the same way.
British Aviator is saying that they personally do not want to take the results from here because half the grid had already pitted, the other half hadn't. But I feel like there may be some bias there because the Audis had pitted, which is British Aviator's
Basta has
team.
said no. That is it. He's calling it there.
Actually, I'm not sure. There may be some sort of misunderstanding in management. Okay,
Nope,
so
that's it. He's been
race director's word. It is half points.
Yep, that's it. All right, so that means that you were going to get half points off of it. Your grid spots are going to be Decare in first, Critical Noob in second, Static in third with the fastest lap. Matt. Oh, actually, hang on a second. That's an old one. I'm sorry. Decare will be in first. Critical Noob will be in second. Rounding off the podium will be Indominus with BMW in third. Static will take fourth. Kaikara will take fifth with the fastest lap. Sixth will be Matt. Seventh, Finn and Jasper with Lamborghini. 8th will be Fernan, and 9th will be Landstroid with Lamborghini, and 10th will be Dance at Hatchet. That will round off your top 10 with half points.
I'm not sure whether they are going to run a podium ceremony or not. I expect not. But we'll
I expect
see.
not.
I would say a podium ceremony at this point would just be a waste of time.
Yeah, I would say the same. You get F2 started. British Aviator really not happy with that one. Danza Hadjek down into 10th position at the end of this race. Half points, which means he will definitely not be getting that many points this race.
Yeah, and this is definitely not what Kaikara would have wanted for the championship.
I don't think anybody wanted this, honestly.
It's such a fun track. We wish we could have had a full race today, but of course the server was just saying no.
Decare must be thanking his lucky stars that he did not go into that pit.
Yeah, and
Critical
there's going to
Noob
be
too.
no podium ceremony, everybody. So we're just going to tell
No
you now, it is
podium,
Dakar
no.
who has won the race, but it will be on half points. Critical Noob is second, and Indominus Rex, I believe, gets their first career podium for BMW. But of course, half points, so it's not going to be that many points. But still, it's a podium,
Well,
technically. Legally,
let me look
officially, it's a
through.
podium.
Okay, yeah, so Formula 1, 10th position only gets 1 point. Since that's going to be halved, Danza Hadjek will only be getting a half of a point, and Static will only be getting 6 points.
Dakar will only be getting...
12 and a half.
Oh, does the fastest lap point, is that halved as well?
I'd assume so.
Because I'm not sure. Because it isn't like finishing
So-
position points, it's like fastest lap points. The
It
fastest
kind
lap
of
doesn't
is.
change
Fastest-
length no matter what time in the race you do it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, but like the fastest lap only is awarded to the top 10 drivers, so I'd assume it applies to the same concept that half points applies to in general. Anyway, I think we should get to Formula 2 now.
We'll just have to wait and see how
Anyways,
that
we should-
ends up.
Yeah,
So
we'll
thank you for
just
joining
close
us,
the topic.
everybody.
Okay.
Before we leave, we just got to thank our wonderful members for supporting the Ion Media team. So thank you for that, and I hopefully you enjoyed the show, even though we didn't really get that much racing. There's a lot of red flag periods, but thank you for sticking with us. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for more Formula 1, but Formula 2 is following straight up after this from the exact same track, and hopefully some less server crashes. So from me, from Shaggy, from Project User, thank you for watching. We'll see you in a while. Goodbye.